Bienvenidos y bienvenidas al Estadio Sonora, la casa de la Copa Mundial de Béisbol Sub-23. Damas y caballeros, hoy el encuentro entre Nicaragua y Países Bajos. Vamos con las alineaciones de este encuentro. Comenzamos con el equipo de Nicaragua que funge como visita. Presentamos a su entrenador, su manager, Sandor Guido. Con el número 95, Cristian Sandoval. Con el número 25, Mike Loaiziga. Con el número 12, Milcar Pérez. Con el número 13, Álvaro Rubí. Con el número 24, Elian Martínez. Con el 98, Luis Montealto. Número 17, Benjamín Alegría. Con el número 28, Leonardo Ortiz. Con el número 51, Wanley Ocon. Número 72 para lanzar por Nicaragua, Leonardo Crawford. Invitamos al resto del equipo a formar una línea a las afueras del dugout para presentar al equipo de casa. Hoy Países Bajos presenta Sidney de Jong, manager. Con el número 26, Julian Reed. Con el número 12, Tyreek Camp. Con el número 6, Delano Celaza. Con el número 4, Junior Martina. Con el número 20, Shadion Yamanica. Número 5, Dave Johnson. Con el número 7, Tommy Van de Sonden. Con el número 30, John Michel. Con el número 32, Leandro Trump. Con el número 10, lanzará por Países Bajos, Gio de Grau. Invitamos al resto del equipo de Países Bajos para presentar al equipo de umpires para este encuentro. En primera base, Omar Peralta de Cuba. En segunda colchoneta, Michael Salazar de México. En tercera base, Alan Izaguirre de México. Y como umpire principal de Alemania, Tim Meyer. Es momento, asistentes, damas y caballeros, jugadores, de ponernos de pie, descubrir cabeza, con absoluto respeto, en la ceremonia de himnos nacionales. Iniciamos con el himno de Nicaragua. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Vamos a escuchar el himno de Países Bajos, Netherlands. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias y que viva Nicaragua y que viva Netherlands. ¡Viva México!
Me está pidiendo el cielo a un diablo. Me estás pidiendo el sol cuando hace frío.
En este momento el intercambio.
Welcome to Estadio Sonora in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, and game number 26 of the third edition of the WBSC U-23 Baseball World Cup, as today, the final day of opening round play opens here in Group B, with the world's number 8 from the Netherlands playing host to the world's number 14, Nicaragua, a pair of 1 and 3 teams set to go fighting to keep their Super Round hopes alive. We got another warm one here today in the Sonoran Desert, as on a gorgeous, clear-skied autumn morning. 31 degrees Celsius is our first pitch temperature as we get ready to roll for these two teams. Nicaragua and the Netherlands, I think, could equally say somewhat disappointed with the way the results have gone through the first 4 days of this team, as we welcome you into Estadio Sonora here on day number 5. My name is Tyler Mott. I've got you here on the English side. Ariadna Ibarra, she joined our coverage yesterday on the Spanish side alongside Tadeo Varela. They are just across the wall from me, as you see the starting defensive alignment today for the Netherlands is announced by manager Sidney de Jong. Sean Michel in left field, Leandro Trump in center, and Julian Rip in right. Junior Martina is at short. Tommy Van de Sanden, or check that, Martina at third. Van de Sanden at short. Tyreek Kemp at second. Delano Salasa back over at first. Dave Janssen behind the plate, and Gio de Grau will get the nod on the pitcher's mound today for the Netherlands, as the right-hander looks to keep his team alive in pursuit of a potential Super Round berth. Nothing has been decided yet in terms of the teams moving on to the Super Round and where they will be seated. So Gio de Grau, the young right-hander, as you see, 18 years old, taking the ball here today. He gets the opportunity today to keep the Netherlands' hopes alive against Nicaragua. The Netherlands would be sitting in a much different spot had it been able to close out a victory over Korea on day number 2 of this U-23 Baseball World Cup, a 7-2 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning that turned into an 8-7 loss. That dropped that team to 0-2 on the way to an 0-3 start, but the Netherlands bouncing back yesterday. A very impressive and pretty convincing win over Panama. 4-1 was the final. For Nicaragua, things have been kind of opposite. A win to open this World Cup over Korea, 3 straight losses since, and here is the starting lineup as run out there by Sandor Guido, the manager for Nicaragua. Center fielder Christian Sandoval will lead things off, and then Mike Loaizaga, who is the older brother of Jonathan Loaizaga, the New York Yankees. Milcar Perez at third base, Hope at third. Alvaro Rubi is the DH. Elian Miranda, the first baseman. Luis Monte Alto will round out the middle third of the order. Shortstop Benjamin Alegria, catcher Leonardo Ortiz, and left fielder Wanley Ocon are the final 3 due up, as we're just waiting on the bullpen gate to be closed down the right field line. And there it is, as we are ready to roll here in the state of Sonora. First pitch is down low from the right-handed starting pitcher, Gio de Grau. Fires in ball 1, and we are underway at 10:30 in the morning, our scheduled first pitch time, right on here on a Monday morning in Hermosillo. Clear skies overhead on another beautiful early fall day, with these two teams trying to move to 2-3 here in the opening round, and hoping that they can get some help to move on to the Super Round, as nothing has yet been decided, with the exception of one thing. We know Venezuela will be moving on to the Super Round. We don't know, however, what seed Venezuela will be, as they've got one game left here in opening round play coming up this evening. They will take on, or this afternoon, I should say, they will take on their final opponent of the opening round, Panama. 5-pitch walk to Christian Sandoval to get things started for Nicaragua in the top of the first inning. Gio DeGrau, really the start that I'm assuming he was planning on. And the righty will now go to work against Mike Loizaga. First pitch there for a strike to him. DeGrau, 3 seasons in the Dutch Major League. Member of the L&D Amsterdam Pirates in 2021. 5-0 record, a 1.99 ERA in 16 appearances this year. 5 of those games were starts. He pours the 0-1 in there for a strike. Gio, his 19th birthday coming up in October 31st. So Venezuela will move on. But behind Venezuela, Colombia looking good at 3-1. They could still be matched in their record by Panama. If Panama wins its meeting today over Venezuela. Oh man, close over at first. But if Colombia wins that game, the winner of this game would be equal with Panama at 2-3, and that mark will get somebody into the Super Round. Runner off with a pitch and a foul ball back into the screen, because that would put Venezuela at 4-0 going into the final day of play. Or I should say at 5-0 coming out of the final day of play. Colombia at 3-1 will match up with Korea a little bit later on. That's the night game. We'll have coverage for you on the English side there. Korea also 1-3. There's a lot to be sorted out. We'll just put it that way. If you're Venezuela, you know you're moving on. If you're Colombia, you feel good about where you are at 3-1 coming into today. Everybody else has got work to do. Pop up on the infield. Runner was moving. We'll see how quickly this ball comes down. And catch made by Tommy Vandesen, and he's got no chance to get Christian Sandoval retreating to first.
Número 12 que viene a batear, Milka Pérez. First down.
Runner off again, and another ball in the air. This one right side, and again Sandoval's got to hustle to get back. Back-to-back pop-outs. Milkar Perez skies out to Tyreek Kemp. So 2 gone. Sandoval after the leadoff walk over at first as DeGrau has settled into a first inning rhythm, and he'll face today's designated hitter Alvaro Ruby. Nicaragua, an impressive win over Korea on the first day of this World Cup. But since then, it has not been quite as easy of a day as somehow, I'm not sure what happened to the base runner Sandoval over there. He is still down. Did that hit him in the helmet? Yeah, Sandoval down and being attended to by a couple of members of the staff, I guess in the back. My replay monitor in the booth is up on the wall to my left, so sometimes I forget to look up there in time to catch these replays. Sandoval thankfully okay. He's back to his feet and leading off of first. Alvaro Ruby still awaiting the first pitch and takes it for strike one over the inside part of the plate. That's Tim Meyer, our home plate umpire from Germany, calling the balls in strikes today. Alan Izaguirre from Mexico is at third base. Michael Salazar from Mexico at second. Omar Peralta from Cuba is at first. One of the nicest guys you'll meet at this WBSC event or anywhere else. They really all are. Except Tim asks me every time we see each other after a day of games, said, all right, who'd you talk badly about today? And I say, it's always just you. Another throw over and check on Christian Sandoval at first. Now, Tim's got a good zone behind the plate. Although I do not envy him today in that hot sun here in the desert. 0-1 pitch coming. Runner off from first and a cue shot roller over to Delano Salasa, and an easy 3 outs after the leadoff walk here in the top of the first inning for the right-handed starter, Gio DeGrau. Good rebound from DeGrau. Well, out of the bottom of the first inning, Nicaragua leaves a man, and the Netherlands coming to the plate. Julian Ripp will lead things off for the Netherlands in the bottom of the first inning. The right fielder sent out there in the top spot in the order every day so far here in this U-23 Baseball World Cup. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Tyreek Kemp, and the first baseman, Delano Salasa, as yesterday's results good enough for Sidney DeYoung to keep the lineup looking largely the same today. Shadian Yamanika is back in the lineup. He's the designated hitter today. He'll bat in the 5 spot after cleanup hitter Junior Martina at third base. Then is Dave Janssen, the catcher. Tommy Vandesanden, the shortstop. Sean Michel, the left fielder. And Leandro Trump, the center fielder, the bottom third of the order for the Netherlands. First pitch, a ball to Rip. Julian so far in the tournament, 2 for 13, but he's put together some good at-bats. He's got a couple of walks as well. This Netherlands team, seems like we've got an equipment issue on the glove of Nicaragua's second baseman, Mike Loizaga, who I guess got out there and realized that something was wrong with the webbing or the laces in his glove, so he switches it out with, I assume, a teammate's. That's always a weird feeling as an infielder. You get so used to your glove. For some guys, I mean, some guys reach Major League Baseball or Nippon Professional Baseball or the Korea Baseball Organization. They've used the same glove since they were in high school. So you put on somebody else's glove, it's like wearing somebody else's shoes. It's just a strange, like, these aren't mine. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There you see the flags down the right field line. Not a whole lot of breeze today on a warm day in Hermosillo. 2-2 pitches on the way and a swing and a miss as Julian Ripp goes after an off-speed pitch, 65 miles an hour. And a leadoff strikeout for today's starting pitcher for Nicaragua, Leo Crawford, who's got this defensive alignment behind him. Ocon, Sandoval, and Monte Alto left to right in the outfield. Perez and Allegri on the left side of the infield. Loizaga and Miranda on the right side. Leonardo Ortiz behind the plate. And Los Angeles Dodgers prospect Leo Crawford, or check that, the Milwaukee Brewers prospect Leo Crawford. I was thinking about Mike Loizaga, the second baseman, who we're getting a look at for the first time today, at least on our English coverage, a former Dodgers prospect. And Leo Crawford, also a former Dodgers prospect, but he was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers and this season spent time in the second highest level of minor league baseball in the United States, just 2 steps down from the major leagues. 4.92 ERA in 25 games, 9 of them starts for the AA Biloxi Shuckers in the U.S. state of Mississippi. Tyreek Kemp takes that pitch off of his right side, and he will head up to first base. I must have gotten him in the arm based on that reaction. And that's not really the way that you want to get on, but man, Tyreek Kemp just continues to find ways to get on base. Tyreek Kemp coming into the day today was 4 for 12 with a double, 2 runs batted in, a run scored, and a walk, and now he's got himself a hit by pitch. And he is really good on the bases as well. Somebody that the Netherlands loves having on. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. These two teams looking to stay alive in pursuit of the Super Round and looking to get some hope from results later on in the day. All kinds of tiebreakers at play, which I'm not smart enough to ever digest, much less explain. So we'll keep our explanations as simple as possible today as we discuss the way things go moving on toward the Super Round, which will start on Wednesday. 1-0 pitch there for a called strike. Keep you updated on what's going on with the Group A games today as well. Pitch foul back into the screen. Top of Group A, Mexico is 3-1 after its tournament opening loss to the Czech Republic, a stunner on day number 1. Mexico has rallied, defending world champs in this event. So it looks as though the host nation will be here on Wednesday to play the Super Round. And selfishly, I'm excited for that. to see the kind of crowd turnout that we'll expect for Mexico games, especially as the Super Round progresses. And if we can see that Mexico team move on to play for some hardware on Saturday, that'd be pretty great as well. Saw the way fans turned out for the baseball Olympic qualifier, the final global qualifier in Puebla back in June. And that was an event that did not have the host nation in it. Mexico had already qualified for the Olympics, and we saw 6,500 people, I think, in the ballpark for the final of that qualifier, which sent the Dominican Republic on to the Olympic Games, where they ended up capturing the bronze medal. Kemp away from first. Left-hander checks him 2-2. Pretty excited to see that Mexico team hopefully here in a couple of days. This is a baseball crazy area of this country. Northern Mexico, here in the desert, a little bit further south down toward Monterrey and Guadalajara, and of course Obregón, where they're currently hosting Group A play. Baseball is king here, and this ballpark is evidence of that. Fly ball into right. Luis Monte Alto on the run. Puts it away. 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Delano Salasa retired, and that'll bring up Junior Martina. Jedian Yamanika in the on-deck circle. He got the start at first base the first 3 days of this World Cup, and then was out of the lineup yesterday. Got a little bit of rest. He's back out there today as the designated hitter as Martina, the cleanup man, comes to the plate. Dave Janssen, the backstop. He'll bat 6th. Tommy Vandesand in the shortstop in the 7-0. Sean Michel in left field, and Leandro Trump, center fielder, brother of Johnito Trump. He'll round out the lineup in front of that gorgeous Netherlands cap, that graphic of the starting 9 today. Two outs. Leo Crawford. Bouncing ball over to third. Kicked over there by Milcar Perez, and recovering not in time to get Martina at first. They may take a look at that, as the starting pitcher Crawford thought that was an out at first base, and we will see if Nicaragua wants the umpires to check on this out, or potential out, I should say, at first. Take another look at it on replay, and Junior Martina, who moved up the line pretty well, beat it out, I guess, as Nicaragua is not going to worry about challenging this here. That is as close as it gets over at first base, and that will go as an error charged to the third baseman, Milcar Perez. So first and second now, and an opportunity here for Yamanika out of the 5 spot. Crawford fools him with an off-speed pitch. It's 0-1. The challenge rules here at the U-23 Baseball World Cup. Each team gets 1 challenge to start regulation. If you are successful on that challenge, you get another one. If you are not successful, your challenge is gone for the remainder of the regulation 7 innings. Now, after the 5th inning, you can ask umpires to confer about a given play, and if the umpires choose, they can go to replay to review. But you do not get another challenge unless we go to extra innings, and each team gets 1 in extra innings. If you did not use your challenge through the first 7 innings, you don't get to carry that over. So you don't get 2 once we hit the 8th. That's how replay works here at the U-23 World Cup. 0-1 in tight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jedian Yamanika still looking for his first hit in this U-23 World Cup. He is 0 for 9, but he does have a couple of walks, a run scored and a run batted in. Oh, 1 broken bat left side. Shortstop Alegria to first. And that will retire the side. 6-3 ground out ends things here in the first. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 men left on, and we will go to the top of the second inning. Nicaragua and the Netherlands scoreless on the final day of opening round play of the U-23 Baseball World Cup from Hermosillo. Top of the second inning, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 for Nicaragua in a scoreless game as the first baseman, Elian Miranda, leads things off. Then Luis Monte Alto, the right fielder, and the shortstop, Benjamin Alegria. A ball and no strikes to the leadoff man, here in the top of the second. 1-1. Gio DeGrau bounced back after a leadoff walk in the first. Retired the side in order behind the 5-pitch walk he issued to Christian Sandoval. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Miranda here. Elian 2 for 10 to start the World Cup. Starting to get to the point where you can't really say to start the World Cup anymore. We are on the final day of opening round play. Swing and a drive high and deep to left. Michel back to the warning track, looking up, and that ball is gone. Elian Miranda with a leadoff home run in the top of the second, and Nicaragua has grabbed the game's first lead. It's 1-0.
La pizarra se coloca una carrera para Nicaragua, 0 para Países Bajos.
Big shot for Miranda, who got a pitch elevated and just crushed it. Belt high over the inner half. That is a tantalizing pitch for any slugger. And Miranda, the big first baseman, capitalizes on it. So 1-0. Gio DeGrau trying to get himself back righted against Luis Monte Alto. Elian Miranda, the Arizona Diamondbacks prospect in his professional career in minor league baseball in the United States. He had 9 home runs this year between a couple of A-ball levels, low A and high A. Three-two pitch coming home to Monte Alto is ball 4. So a tough start to the second inning for the right-hander DeGrau. Now Benjamin Alegria. So we're going to get a visit to the pitcher's mound from Robin van Doornspijk, the pitching coach for the Netherlands. Robin now 40 years old. He was a 2004 Olympian with the Netherlands at the Athens Games. He has worked with his Dutch national program in a variety of levels and contexts. Runner off from first. Throw down to second is not in time to get him. A stolen base for Luis Monte Alto. So man in scoring position with nobody out. Here in the top of the second as Nicaragua jumping on Gio DeGrau to get this inning underway. Monday morning baseball here in the Sonoran Desert. 10:30 first pitch today. 2 more games to go here from Group B. One of them for our English coverage, as tonight there's a shot to left field, racing over toward the line. Nice pursuit by Sean Michel to make that grab. First out of the inning as Alegria is retired. That'll send up Leonardo Ortiz. And that actually is going to bring an end to the day for DeGrau. So Gio's day comes to a close after 7 batters faced, and with not a whole lot of margin for error today, both these teams in desperate need of a win. Gio will hand the ball off to his manager, Sidney de Jong, and the Netherlands will go to the bullpen. We'll tell you about this new arm as he enters the game. But here's what's coming up today in Group B play, the final day of opening round action. Starting at 3 o'clock local time, Panama and Venezuela. Venezuela, the bronze medalists from the second edition of the U-23 Baseball World Cup 3 years ago in Barranquilla, Colombia. That team looking to finish the opening round unbeaten at 5-0. They would move into the super round as the top seed out of this group if they can knock off Panama this afternoon. And then a 7:30 first pitch tonight for Colombia and Korea. Korea, pending results from the first 2 games today, the world's number 2 in need of a win to move on. And Colombia sitting at 3-1. They would assure themselves a ticket to the Super Round with a win tonight. New arm onto the hill for the Netherlands here in the top half of the second inning. Jaden Ganesh, who has been pretty good so far for his team. Third appearance for Jaden, and a first pitch ground ball to second. Tyreek Kemp will get the out. Leonardo Ortiz is gone. So for Gio DeGrau, an inning and a third, one hit, just the homer. So far charged with only one run. But 2 walks for him. And that's the thing that really kind of forced the hand of Sidney DeYoung, the manager. Final pitch count in this game, 30 for DeGrau, 16 for strikes. Jaden Ganesh trying to keep it at a 1-0 margin here through 2. That potential second run would go on the account of DeGrau if the Netherlands can bring home Luis Montealto, who walked and stole second, moved up to third on that ground out. There he is, 90 feet away. 1-1. And man, the Netherlands caught a break there. That ball bounced up and took a weird hop over the left shoulder of the catcher Janssen, and that hit Tim Meyer, the home plate umpire, in the chest protector. Tim kind of looks like he's set to leave this game and hop into the Tour de France with that helmet. I know they wear hats in the Tour de France. It's just got that little bill on the front. We actually have some umpire caps for WBSC events that have those tiny bills in the front. I really want to snag one of those. They're very humorous looking. 2-1 pitch in the air to center, and no trouble for Wantley Ocone. For Alejandro Trump, who retires Wantley Ocone. The run comes home on the homer. We enter the bottom of the second. The Netherlands trailing Nicaragua 1-0. Of the second inning, a run across in the top of 2 for Nicaragua, and it'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Netherlands as the catcher Dave Janssen is set to lead things off. Janssen, the right-handed hitting backstop, then Tommy Van de Sanden, the shortstop behind him, and Sean Michel, the 3 due into the batter's box. Dave Janssen bunted for a base hit yesterday, trying to do the same here. But he'll send that one foul, and it is no balls and a strike on him. So far in this World Cup, Dave 3 for 10, Had a 2-run double against Korea. He's got a walk, a run scored as well. Take that pitch away for a ball. Dave, a member of the Twins Oosterhout in the Dutch Major League, and I apologize for my unquestioned butchering of the city name there. This past year, 18 games for Dave, a 194 batting average, a 652 OPS. He's still trying to get the bat to come along. He's also pitched a little bit in his career. Not much, but 3 appearances, according to Baseball Reference, in the Honkball Hoofdklasse. Two. Fly ball into center field. Sandoval there, 1 out.
Con el número 7, Tommy Van de Sanden.
Dutch shortstop Van de Sanden steps in. Tommy 2 for 8. 3 walks. He's had a very good on-base World Cup so far. Ball and no strikes on him. Tommy, the collegiate member of the University of South Alabama Jaguars in the university ranks in the United States, and a guy who now just in his age 22 season, he's already played 7 Dutch Major League seasons, and this year batted .369 with a .939 OPS for DSS, the team in Haarlem in the Netherlands. 24 games played, 31 for 84 with 8 doubles and a triple, 23 runs batted in. He walked 15 times and struck out just 6 times. And he will take a strike there on 3-0. Didn't think it was, but he will grab the bat. Looked pretty good from up here. Pointed this out the other night. Tommy's last name is so long it doesn't fit on the video board up in left field. It just says Tommy Van. There's ball 4. As Van de Sanden will post up at first. The first walk of the day for the Netherlands. WBSC voice Alex Cohen checking in. Just got a text from our good buddy Alex, who helped us out with U-23 broadcast in the last edition of this event back in 2018 in Colombia. And also, of course, worked Premier 12 games for us. Alex and I got to do the championship game of Premier 12 at the Tokyo Dome in 2019. First pitch up and away. Ball in, no strikes to Sean Michel. Alex, the radio voice of the AAA Iowa Cubs in the Chicago Cubs organization. And just an all-around great dude. Good to hear from Alex. 1-0 pitch, a little bit above the knees on the inner part of the plate to put the count even. That's my view, basically right there. Swung around a little bit toward first base, but that is a fantastic vantage point from up here at the upper level at Estadio Sonora in one of the most gorgeous ballparks you will ever see. I was telling a few people yesterday, I almost get distracted at various points during these games because of A, how beautiful the stadium is, but B, how beautiful the backdrop is. We've got the mountains out beyond everywhere. They kind of encircle Hermosillo. And you get caught looking at these desert landscapes or some of the birds that circle the ballpark or the mountains way out in the distance. This place is amazing and as beautiful a stadium as you will find anywhere here in the Americas. The 1-2 pitch, foul back. This ballpark opened in 2013, a capacity of 16,000. It replaced the Estadio Hector Espino, the former home of the Naranjeros de Hermosillo. Mexican Pacific Winter League is the circuit that utilizes this park. 1-2 swung on and missed. There's the second strikeout of the day for Leo Crawford. Sean Michel is gone. And with 2 gone, Bondesanen remains at first for center fielder out of the 9 spot for the Netherlands. This is the baseball mad area of this country. Baseball and football, soccer to those of us weirdos who grew up in the one country that doesn't call it football. Those are the sports that this country loves. I mean, among others, but those are the ones that really light the passions of fans here in Mexico. And it is cool. I was talking with one of our World Cup workers yesterday about the way sports grab certain regions, and I'm always fascinated by the roots of that, and talked a little bit yesterday during one of our broadcasts about how baseball came to Mexico. And there are a couple of different theories. It came in the 19th century, we know that, but there are some who suggest that it came first from the influence of Cuba in the southern part of the country, and others who suggest that it was around the middle of the 19th century with railroad workers who came from the United States and spread the game, especially in northern and central Mexico, as the 1-1 is grounded to third and an easy play going the short route. Ocar Perez will retire Bondesanen and wrap things up here in the bottom of the second. Nicaragua with a 1-0 lead as we head to the third in Hermosillo. Top half of the third inning, a 1-0 lead for Nicaragua over the Netherlands as we move along in game number 26 of the WBSC U-23 Baseball World Cup back at Estadio Sonora here in Hermosillo. My name is Tyler Mon. Great to have you alongside for our penultimate English language broadcast of opening round action. Coming up tonight, final game of the opening round. Game number 30 of the 50 that we will play in Hermosillo and Obregón, Colombia and Korea. 7:30 p.m. first pitch for that game this evening. As the leadoff man in the Nicaragua lineup is the leadoff man here in the third, Christian Sandoval, who shoots one to center. And this sends Leandro Trump back, and it's over his head and all the way to the warning track. Flying around second base is Sandoval. He's digging for third, and Christian Sandoval's in there standing up with a leadoff triple in the third inning. So Sandoval a walk in the first. He was left on, and he puts himself one station away to start the third inning as he went down and got that pitch just above the knees and smoked it to center. Trump got a late jump on it, but to be fair, he wasn't going to get to it anyway. That ball was hit so hard, it was going to get down regardless of where he would have been stationed. And probably was going to be three regardless as well. So Jaden Ganesh now having to work with a man in scoring position with nobody out, and Mike Loizaga at the plate. Loizaga, as I noted a little while ago, a former prospect in the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. And he is the brother of Jonathan Loizaga, 26-year-old pitcher in the New York Yankees organization out of Managua. Liner to left, caught. The throw to the plate actually hits Sandoval in the back of the helmet, I believe, and he's in safely. Goodness gracious, Sean Michel uncorked a perfect throw to the plate, so perfect that it clanked off the runner in the baseline. And that is a break for Nicaragua, as it'll go as a sacrifice fly for Loizaga, with an RBI to make it a 2-0 lead. If that ball sneaks over the helmet of Sandoval, there is a chance that he is out at the plate. But man, that is a pretty jarring way to cross home plate. Great throw by Michel, but unfortunately a little too much on target. And fortunate from the other side that it was, and also fortunate from the other side that Christian Sandoval is okay, as the sacrifice fly for Loizaga doubles the lead. Shot to right field, and that's in for a base hit. Milcar Perez, his first hit of the day. Jaden Ganesh dealing with a lot of contact since he has come in. Now Alvaro Ruby first pitch swinging left side, not a few hops. That's past Van de Sanden's outstretched glove and into left. Back-to-back singles, Perez and Ruby. And with one out, now a pair aboard, and a second straight visit to the mound from Dave Janssen, the catcher.
Hoy número 24, Elian Miranda.
First pitch on the way to the guy who got Nicaragua on the scoreboard, Elian Miranda. Belted a leadoff homer last inning into the Netherlands bullpen out in left. 2-0 lead for Nicaragua, as the winner of this game stays alive for a berth in the Super Round to start on Wednesday here in Hermosillo, and the loser is moving on to the placement round, where teams 7 through 12 will play Wednesday through Friday in Obregón at Estadio Yaquis. One ball, two strikes. Sacrifice fly in this inning from Mike Loizaga, who was just looking at his brother's baseball reference page. Johnny Loizaga, I did not realize that he apparently, at least in some circles in New York, has the nickname Johnny Lasagna, which is saying this as the son of a mother from East Harlem in New York City. That is the most New York nickname that I could conceive of for a pitcher named Jonathan Loizaga from Nicaragua. Let's call him Johnny Lasagna. Why not? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Loizaga. The younger brother, born in 1999. As there is a strikeout, the first of the day for Netherlands pitching. Jonathan Loizaga, born 1994. This year, he has turned himself into a weapon out of that Yankees bullpen. 9-4 record, a 2.54 ERA. He's got 5 saves as well this season. Getting set to return from injury soon, Jonathan Loizaga. Two outs, still first and second. Here's Luis Monte Alto. Monte Alto has been really good at the plate here in this World Cup, and he lines one to left field to show you why. Down for a base hit in front of Michel, who gets to it, rifles a throw into the plate. It is perfectly on target, but on a hop, Janssen can't handle it. It's an RBI single for Monte Alto, who will move up on the throw, and a 3-0 lead for Nicaragua. Not sure if it was just the way that ball was coming up off of the bounce or what, but it looked like that was going to be a pretty easy out at the plate. On the second terrific throw in this inning from Sean Michel in left, who set up behind it perfectly, and yeah, just kind of a short hop that glanced off of the glove of the backstop Janssen, unable to get a tag on Perez. Ruby goes first to third, and on the throw, Monte Alto in a scoring position, so the inning gets a little bit dicier even with 2 outs. Alegria, fly ball to center. Shallow center. Tromp starting in, but it's Rip who will make the call on the catch, and that'll wrap things up here in the third. But a couple of runs across for Nicaragua, which extends its lead here in the top of 3. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning. Nicaragua 3 and the Netherlands nothing. Bottom half of the third inning, we'll go back to the top of the order for the Netherlands. Julian Rip leading things off, the right fielder, then Tyreek Kemp, the second baseman, and Delano Salasa. Netherlands still in search of its first hit, first time through the lineup. 3 base runners, 1 on a hit by pitch, 1 on an error, 1 on a walk. But nobody across, and Leo Crawford back out there for the third, and his first pitch is a ball to Rip. Julian Rip, 0 for 1, a strikeout back in the first inning. The Group A game this morning, Cuba and the Czech Republic. There will be a massive game tomorrow as Cuba and the Dominican Republic were rained out on Thursday. They had their game rescheduled for tomorrow, and as of right now, those two teams sit behind group leading Mexico as a bouncing ball up the middle is the first hit of the day for the Netherlands. Julian Rip sends a seeing eye single past Benjamin Alegria. Group A standings coming into the day today: Mexico 3-1, Cuba 2-1, Dominican Republic 2-1, and Chinese Taipei 2-2. So Cuba and the DR obviously each need wins today. Cuba squaring off right now with the Czech Republic, and Cuba as the road team in that matchup. They've got a 3-0 lead. That game is in the top of the third inning. Dominican Republic will play next against Chinese Taipei. So if the DR wins that one, here's a drive in the air to right center. Tyreek Kemp, 1 out. If Cuba wins its contest here against the Czech Republic, it would move to 3-1. Dominican Republic would also move to 3-1 if it beats Chinese Taipei, and those two would move on. We would know the Group A Super Round entrance, and what would be left to be determined then would be who will be the 2 seed and who will be the 3 seed. Mexico knocked off Chinese Taipei yesterday, beat the Dominican Republic 2 days ago, and beat Cuba back on Friday. So Mexico, with a win today, will go in as the 1 seed. Fly ball out into left. 2 gone. Delano Salasa retired. So a lot at stake today for Cuba and the DR, and even more at stake tomorrow, as Cuba's got a 3-0 lead in the third inning in that game. We have not seen a Cuban team make a run in a WBSC World Cup in a while, and for that team this week, making the Super Round would be an accomplishment in its own right. To get here to Hermosillo and be playing as one of the top 6 teams. Of course, we all know how much the pressure gets ratcheted up when the Super Round arrives. But seeing Cuba here coming out of that group, I mean, that is going to be a talented 3-team group regardless. But that Cuba team has put together some pretty impressive wins in its first time at this U-23 level. First pitch in there for a strike to Junior Martina. No balls, 1 strike, 2 gone. Martina reached on an error charge to the third baseman Milkar Perez to put runners at first and second with 2 outs in the first inning, but the Netherlands left a pair aboard. They left 1 on last inning. And here after the leadoff single by Rip, trying to move him around the base paths. Crawford, that straight leg set, kicks and comes home with ball 1. Big cut and miss. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Crawford looking for a shutdown inning after his team got 2 in the top of the 3rd. Long set here and just trying to throw off the timing of Martina, who will call time. Czech Republic still in search of its first hit in that game. Jose Santos has walked 4 for Cuba, but he struck out 3 and kept the Czech Republic out of the hit column. Runner off with a pitch. 1-2 into the dirt. That'll skip through the legs of Ortiz. And it is a stolen base for Julian Rip. Crawford ready again. 2-2. Out too short. Little worm burner that Alegria scoops up and slings to first for the final out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. And we move into the top of the 4th inning. Nicaragua in control. The Netherlands with its first hit, but Nicaragua with a 3-0 lead. Catcher Leonardo Ortiz will lead off for Nicaragua in the top half of the 4th inning. Back at Estadio Sonora in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. Game number 26 of the WBSC's U-23 Baseball World Cup here in 2021. First pitch of the top half of the 4th inning. Dealt in there by the new right-hander into the game for the Netherlands, Kevin Baker. So Jaden Ganesh exits this contest. 22 pitches for Jaden, 14 of them for strikes as he pitched an inning and 2/3. 4 hits, 2 runs. Both earned, no walks and a strikeout. Foul ball got a piece of Dave Janssen, the catcher. There you see some of the desert landscape behind the outfield here in Hermosillo. Oof, right off of the right shoulder of Janssen. Thankfully off of the padding over there. Remember back in the day when catchers used to just wear the chest protector that just kind of had that tank top look to it without the shoulder coverings? It is a very welcome development for catchers that little innovations like the shoulder padding for the chest protectors have come along. I always thought the best invention for catchers were the knee savers, the little pads that go behind the calf. And there is a called strike 3 as Leonardo Ortiz is retired. That's a nice job receiving that pitch by Janssen over the outside corner. A little too close to take on 2 strikes, and Ortiz knew it as that thing burned right over the outside part of the black. First pitch fastball up and into the 9-hole hitter, Wanley Ocon. 1 ball, no strikes. Kevin Baker, so far here in the World Cup, this is his 3rd appearance now. He pitched against Venezuela and gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning. Also a third of an inning against Korea, and he ended up taking the loss in that game. Pitched in the 8th, as that is the game that really changed the composure of this tournament entirely for the Netherlands. With a win today, Netherlands still alive for the Super Round, just as Nicaragua is the same, but the Netherlands is definitely going to look back on that game against Korea. 7-2 lead going into the bottom of the 7th. They ended up taking the loss 8-7 and 8. Oof, just off the outside part of the plate there. Three-two on the ground to third. Tough hop, and Martina able to stick with it. His throw is in time. Speaking as a former low-level high school third baseman in the U.S. and then a club baseball player in college, otherwise known as a washed-up high school baseball player, those were always the balls I hated the most. The ones that were hit so hard to you at third that you don't really have time to judge the hop that you want to play it on. And I was never good at doing what Junior Martina just did, which is just knock the ball down and be able to live to make the play. Great job by Martina, and a great job here by Delano Salasa to stick with that one with some funky spin up the first base side. 3 up, 3 down goes Nicaragua for the first time today, and we head into the bottom of the 4th. Nicaragua 3 and the Netherlands 0.
Ahí vemos el lanzador por nuevo lanzador con